screen.
I'm on you now because I gotta go fix some
we are
problems.
talking about Lara Croft Go, correct?
Absolutely.
And this is a live demo. This is running right now.
Actually,
Looks like it.
yeah, it looks like it. Looks like our game.
So what are we about to see? What are we going to see in Lara Croft Go?
So at this point, the idea is that the game, as you probably know, the game was introduced at the Square Enix conference yesterday.
Yes.
It's been a while, but yesterday. And for us, it's our third game for the studio. So for people that know, Square Enix Montreal is the small studio in Montreal that's dedicated to mobile. We took a look at all the great brands that we have, great IPs that we have within the Square Enix group, and we started with Hitman, found two very creative way to bring Hitman to mobile with Hitman Go and Hitman Sniper.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously we're fans of the Tomb Raider and Lara Croft brand, so we said, how can we best bring it to life on mobile? And this is where, Danielle, our very talented creative director, got that concept for Lara Croft Go.
And didn't Hitman Sniper just come out?
Hitman Sniper came out 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So, no, we're pretty busy in the
You're right on
studio.
top of these things. Yeah.
But no, it came out 2 weeks ago. Again, very happy because we had major critical success with Hitman Go. And we know that, again, we focus on crafting a great mobile experience, something that was dedicated to mobile, something that was easily to play on mobile. And the Sniper concept, even if it's completely different approach to the mobile, to the Hitman brand, fits perfectly and makes for a great mobile experience.
Yeah, we actually have a question from our chat regarding how much has been taken from Hitman Go and utilized in Lara Croft Go, because it's very contrasting themes of killing as opposed to exploring.
Sure. I mean, that's a good question to start off with. I guess we're using what we established with Hitman Go as kind of like a base, kind of a fundament, but really not shy of kind of questioning things and really making sure that I think one thing that was really well received with Hitman Go is that we really built the game around this kind of theme of playing a hitman going around, but not shying away from making it its own kind of custom experience for mobile. And so with this one, again, we're really not shying away from taking things out that would not work with Hitman and putting stuff in that's really cool and works with Lara Croft. So in terms of mechanics, to be more kind of concrete, there's some mechanics like enemies that we're trying to reestablish and bring back. Behaviors, I guess, not the type of enemies, but in terms of other mechanics, we have a lot of cool things that you might expect from a big Tomb Raider or Lara Croft game, such as traps and kind of mechanisms and puzzle kind of things. So we're really focusing on that, making it feel like a true Lara Croft experience.
So it definitely is more like puzzle versus combat.
I think it has. Obviously we're trying to show the whole palette of everything that you would expect from a game like this, and also puzzle is kind of like is kind of like a puzzle mechanic, so to speak. So there's no kind of shooting as in a real-time shooter you would expect. But yeah, just bringing that whole palette over to mobile. That's what we're trying to do. So here we can see actually, Geneviève is playing this live. This is one of the very first levels. It's actually the first level. You see a little bit of a map there, so we get a bit of a context of what's going on.
Oh, I love that.
What is the actual input? How do we make her move?
So that's the cool thing about it is also about Hitman Go, since we're really building this from the ground up. We can have a control scheme that works really well on mobile, as opposed, I guess, to making a port of a complicated control scheme. And so you see these spots with the lines in there between. So we're calling them nodes internally, but they're basically just like in a board game. They're like these spots where you can put a character on. And so every time you swipe, the character she just moves to the next spot. So it's this kind of turn-based formula that worked really well with Hitman Go. With the big difference, I guess, this time around is that everything is animated. So every step that you move has an animation and has actually a big set of different animations. So
how do we do the roll just then? Yeah.
Sometimes if you go back and forth, there's a chance. Like we have this really cool system animations.
Just some flair.
It depends. There's kind of like a dependency. So if you go back 180 degrees from one turn to another, she does these cool things. Even like this, if you've played the old, very first Tomb Raider games, there's this iconic kind of handstand move that she did. We have that in there, so it's really cool. And something it's kind of hard to see now on the screen there, but as you play the game, one big difference also with this one, we're adding this kind of second layer of storytelling and narrative to it. So as Lara progresses through this level, you see something is moving in the background. You'll see that in a second.
So do you feel like a game like this on mobile kind of gives you an opportunity to have more fun with like the Lara Croft IP as opposed to the new Tomb Raider, which is like, we've got to be serious, we've got to be gritty, but you can do those little like nuances and
I think
callbacks?
it's two completely different things that are both very appealing. I think what we're trying to do here is really making a game that is for the mobile
How do we get
space.
that glowing thing down there?
Too late.
How could we have gotten it?
You can. There's this kind of system with these vases that you can tap on. Find, maybe Genevieve, you can see. Oh, well, maybe let's keep
we'll
that.
get the
Let's
next
keep
one.
that for later.
Okay.
We'll show that at the later point. But there's this system of collectibles and unlocks that you can get in the game that are basically hidden through the environment. But to just, I guess, come back to the question.
Yeah, I'm so sorry to
Um,
interrupt.
Sorry.
That's
Sorry.
good. I like the enthusiasm.
You were talking
that.
about some story, something
But
that we'll
I
see
think
coming through the scenes.
Again, I think having a big kind of AAA Tomb Raider experience on console makes a lot of sense because that's what you can do and it's the kind of experience you can get. But on mobile, I think this is what we're trying to do with it, more of a kind of a bite-sized approach. So I think this is really bringing out the whole all different flavors of kind of a same brand that you can do. Maybe you can show that again. Actually, here's a cool mechanic, again turn-based. With this cracked floor, if you step on it once, but if you step on it again, also a classic, I guess, from Tomb Raider games and Lara Croft games, it cracks and it falls. So you have to pay attention to that. But then later, also in the game, you can start mixing and matching. You make puzzles with more complex kind of setups. Obviously, we start mixing and matching the different mechanics that you see here now. So it's really cool.
So we can't go back down the way we came?
This one, again, you
we
can go
just-
there
okay,
once. The second
cool.
time it collapses, and
But that
then
won't
now
kill
she
us.
could not go back up again.
So is there a situation that you can get in where you lose your opportunity to move in a certain position and you just have to restart?
So
that
I guess
area?
like the very nature of kind of these puzzle games where it's a setup and you kind of got to figure out your way. It can happen that you get into a kind of a locked situation and you got to restart the level, or there's this enemy left that you didn't take out and he's going to kill you. But there's kind of a big variety in situations like that also.
Her character model seems like she's based off of the first game, like that version of Lara Croft. Is that intentional? Is that like the one that you sought to make?
So the way it works is basically we're, as I guess as Square Enix, there's two main branches for the Tomb Raider and Lara Croft franchise. So the Tomb Raider is the reboot and everything that you've seen with Rise of the Tomb Raider, everything being announced here. And Lara Croft are all the games that are basically more towards the the nostalgic kind of touch on Lara. They're like Temple of Osiris, Relic Run, and all these games that have been coming out lately. And we're in that category as well with this game. That's also why it's called Lara Croft Go. And so that's where this kind of classic look is coming from, and that's what we decided to go for with this one.
We've had some questions from chat because Hitman Go is more that like plastic board game character. Was the desire to have her move more fluidly, did that influence her character design that you didn't go with that plastic similar board game appearance?
Yeah, I mean, the idea for us was really to have something that is working on a very kind of broad and holistic level. And so obviously it worked super well with Hitman because a little figurine that moves like a chess piece, that was kind of a nice thing to have. But actually, interestingly enough, we also thought a little bit about what if Lara was a board game piece, but that didn't really fit the kind of style and the character because she's very athletic and she moves around, this very dynamic character. And so obviously having this fully animated world and everything around it just made a lot of sense. And so that's why we then kind of discovered and explored that direction.
Is this on all mobile platforms?
Right now, what we've announced is that it's phones and tablet. Obviously, we're demoing on iOS, but we don't want to commit right now to devices. But
sure, but it looks really good.
Well, again, that is something that we pride ourselves upon. Square Enix Montreal, the products that we'll do should always be Editor's Choice candidate, Game of the Year candidate. We're going for high-end, high-quality experiences. We believe there's so many mobile gamers out there that want to have deep quality experiences, and this is what we focus on.
Yeah, I really like Monument Valley, and I'm sure you guys have maybe gotten some comparisons. I'm in. When is this out, and how much is it?
At this point, we said this year, and it's going to be premium.
Okay.
The game's not done. We still have a little work to do, but we're almost done. But we need more stuff to announce in the next few weeks.
When you say premium, does that mean I just buy it and then the whole game is there?
Yes.
Why don't you just stuff it with stupid microtransactions?
Well,
if you want that. No, I think for us, it's also with the Hitman Go, we kind of went with that route because we felt that was a good transition also from the game coming from a console kind of experience. But I think also importantly with this one, since we have this kind of story, Fini Tableau. with this kind of I had to put some French in there to get some instructions. So with this kind of the structure and the story and the exploration that you get, we feel that's more like a full experience. We don't want to slice it up and charge people at. So we want to make something that really fits that.
And as with Hitman Go, if we have microtransactions, it's service to the player. It's not forced upon. There's no in-your-face interface. In Hitman Go, it was hints. Some people were actually happy to buy hints for the whole game.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty. We put it just for fun, but a lot of people use that. They wanted to complete the whole experience. They needed the hints. Please.
Is there a chance that maybe you'd release like a level pack in the future?
At this
following?
point, it's way too
early to know.
Now we're still trying to craft this perfect experience, finish it, make it as what we want to create. Great loving game. It's a brand we love. All right, so we need to treat it with super high quality products.
In Lara Croft Go, how does a hint work?
So still work in progress, I guess, but we're probably possibly looking at a similar kind of setup as we had in Hitman. So kind of like, if you're stuck, then you get a kind of a hint on how to finish the level, because we want to, as Patrick said, I guess we want to have also an experience that is not just like frustrating. Oh, I can't finish it. I'm like stuck forever. So.
That's very cool. Do we have one last question?
Has anything changed? I mean, technology changes rather quickly, but is there anything that you can do now that you maybe weren't able to do with Hitman Go, or that you've learned since making Hitman Go?
Yeah, we're better with at least 1 year better.
Yeah, I think
How better?
we've learned a lot of stuff. Also, the interesting thing is we're still, I guess, a pretty young studio. The team that made Hitman Go, and then now is making this game. This is the second game, so we're learning a lot from this. I think also, adding that layer of story and all these new mechanics that we're adding in this game is going to be super fun for us to see like how that's going to be perceived by the people, and adding that extra layer on it.
Is the story all communicated non-verbally?
Yes.
Very cool.
That's kind of like what we're trying to do with Hitman. So in Hitman, I don't know if you remember that they had these little figurines to kind of, in a board game or in a diorama, you have figurines in a freeze frame pose, doing a little kind of setup. And in this one, everything is basically told through the environment and what you go through. So it's our style.
What I've seen of this has compelled me to now get Hitman Go. Gonna get it.
That's why I'm here. Sell a copy.
Thank you.
Cool. Thank you so much.
Cool. Thank you very much.
Oh yeah, thank
Cool.
you. Yeah, thank you for coming.
And we're going to switch right back to Ian Cam. There he is.
Hey, welcome back to Ian Cam.